Evil has many faces, and within the depths of criminality lie tales that both fascinate and horrify. Edmund Burke. James Whitey Bulger, born on September 3rd, 1929 in Boston, Massachusetts, became one of the most notorious and feared crime bosses in American history. He led the Winter Hill Gang, an Irish-American organized crime syndicate operating in Boston, and was involved in a wide range of criminal activity, including racketeering, extortion, drug trafficking, and murder. Bulger's rise to power began in the 1970s, when he formed an alliance with the Italian Mafia and other criminal groups, establishing a stronghold in South Boston. Under his leadership, the Winter Hill Gang became known for its ruthless tactics and control over various illegal enterprises, including gambling, loan sharking, and drug distribution. What made Bulger's career all the more intriguing was his covert relationship with the FBI. In the 1970s, he was recruited as an informant by FBI agent John Connolly, providing information on rival gangs and becoming a valuable asset to the agency. This arrangement allowed Bulger to operate with relative impunity, as he used his status as an informant to protect himself and eliminate threats from other criminal organizations. However, Bulger exploited this alliance to his advantage, using his insider knowledge to outmaneuver law enforcement and further his criminal empire. He provided the FBI with information that led to the dismantling of rival gangs, while simultaneously expanding his own criminal activity. Bulger's criminal exploits and his role as an informant remained hidden for years, shielding him from prosecution. Meanwhile, he became a legendary figure in Boston's criminal underworld, feared by many and revered by some as a Robin Hood-like figure who protected his South Boston neighborhood. In 1994, the FBI finally closed in on Bulger, planning to arrest him on multiple charges, including racketeering, extortion, and murder. However, he received a tip-off from his corrupt FBI handler and managed to escape, going into hiding and becoming one of the FBI's most wanted fugitives. For the next 16 years, Bulger lived a life on the run, assuming various identities and evading capture. His ability to disappear without a trace earns him the moniker The Ghost. Despite extensive efforts by law enforcement agencies, he remained elusive, taunting authorities through occasional sightings and alleged sightings. In 2011, the long manhunt for Bulger finally came to an end. Acting on a tip, FBI agents apprehended him and his girlfriend, Catherine Grieve, in Santa Monica, California. Their arrest marked the end of an era for Bulger and the beginning of a high-profile trial that would expose the extent of his crimes and the corruption within law enforcement. In 2013, Bulger faced trial on a litany of charges, including involvement in 19 murders. The trial brought to light the gruesome details of his reign of terror, with former associates testifying against him and recounting the brutality of his crimes. It also revealed the extent of his corrupt relationship with the FBI and the complicity of certain agents who turned a blind eye to his activities. Ultimately, Bulger was found guilty on multiple counts, including racketeering, extortion, money laundering, and murder. In November 2013, he received 2 consecutive life sentences, plus 5 years. The saga of Whitey Bulger continues to captivate public interest, with books, documentaries, and films depicting his criminal career and eventual downfall. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the devastating impact of organized crime, the dangers of unchecked power, and the complexity of the relationship between criminals and law enforcement.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda.
Osama bin Laden, born on March 10, 1957, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, was the mastermind behind one of the deadliest terror attacks in history. As the founder and leader of the extremist group al-Qaeda, he orchestrated the September 11, 2001 attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, resulting in the loss of thousands of innocent lives. Bin Laden's radicalization began in the 1980s, when he joined the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, fighting against Soviet forces. During this fight, he formed connections with various Islamist militant groups and developed a fervent anti-Western ideology. He saw the United States as a prime target due to its perceived interference in Muslim affairs. After the Soviet withdrawal from Afghanistan, bin Laden returned to Saudi Arabia, but soon became disillusioned with the Saudi government's close ties to the United States. In 1988, he founded al-Qaeda, an extremist organization with the goal of establishing a pan-Islamic caliphate and implementing a strict interpretation of Sharia law. Bin Laden's most infamous act of terrorism came on September 11, 2001, when 19 al-Qaeda operatives hijacked 4 commercial airplanes. 2 of the planes crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, causing their collapse. Another plane struck the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, while the 4th plane, United Airlines Flight 93, crashed in a field in Pennsylvania after passengers fought back against the hijackers. In total, nearly 3,000 innocent people lost their lives in these coordinated attacks. The September 11th attacks propelled bin Laden and al-Qaeda into the global spotlight. The United States, under President George W. Bush, launched a military campaign to dismantle al-Qaeda and bring bin Laden to justice. The manhunt for bin Laden spanned nearly a decade and involved intelligence gathering, international cooperation and covert operations. Finally, on May 2, 2011, a team of US Navy SEALs raided a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, where bin Laden was hiding. During the operation, bin Laden was killed, ending a chapter in the global war on terror. His death marked a significant victory for the United States and provided some closure to the families of the 9/11 victims. The legacy of Osama bin Laden is one of terror, violence, and the tragic loss of innocent lives. The attacks he orchestrated on September 11, 2001, changed the world and had far-reaching consequences, including the launch of the war on terror, increased security measures, and a shift in global perceptions of terrorism. Bin Laden's death may have brought a sense of justice, but the threat of terrorism and extremist ideologies continues to persist in the modern world. Joaquín El Chapo Guzman, born on April 4, 1957 in La Tuna, Mexico, is one of the most notorious drug lords in history. He gained infamy as the leader of the Sinaloa Cartel, a powerful criminal organization involved in drug trafficking, money laundering, and acts of violence. El Chapo's rise to power began in the late 1980s when he became a key figure in the Guadalajara Cartel. After the cartel's leader was arrested, El Chapo seized the opportunity and formed the Sinaloa Cartel, which quickly became one of the most dominant and ruthless drug trafficking organizations in Mexico. Under El Chapo's leadership, the Sinaloa Cartel controlled a significant portion of the drug trade, smuggling massive quantities of cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamine, and heroin into the United States and other countries. The cartel's operations extended beyond drug trafficking, with involvement in extortion, kidnapping, and corruption. El Chapo's ability to evade capture and his audacious escapes from maximum security prisons only added to his mythic status. In 2001, he escaped from prison by hiding in a laundry cart, and he remained at large for more than a decade. He was eventually recaptured in 2014, but managed to escape again in 2015 through a tunnel dug under his prison cell. The international manhunt for El Chapo intensified, with the United States offering a substantial reward for information leading to his capture. In January 2016, Mexican authorities arrested him once more, and this time, they took extra precautions to prevent another escape. After a highly publicized trial in the United States, El Chapo was found guilty in February 2019 on charges including drug trafficking, money laundering, and murder. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, bringing an end to his reign as one of the world's most notorious criminals. The impact of El Chapo's criminal activities has been far-reaching. His cartel's ruthless tactics and control over the drug trade have fueled violence and contributed to the destabilization of entire regions. The arrest and conviction of El Chapo represented a significant blow to the Sinaloa Cartel, but also underscored the ongoing challenges in combating drug trafficking and organized crime. Joaquín El Chapo Guzman's story is a chilling reminder of the dark underworld of drug cartels and the devastating consequences of their operations. It serves as a stark illustration of the complexities and dangers associated with the international drug trade and the relentless efforts of law enforcement agencies to dismantle these criminal networks and bring their leaders to justice. Rafael Caro Quintero, born on October 3, 1952, in Badiraguato, Mexico, is a notorious Mexican drug lord and one of the founders of the now-defunct Guadalajara Cartel. He played a significant role in the rise of the cartel and its involvement in the illicit drug trade. Caro Quintero began his criminal career in the 1970s and quickly established himself as a key figure in the drug trade. He became known for his involvement in marijuana trafficking, eventually expanding into cocaine smuggling. His ruthless tactics and ability to operate with impunity made him a feared and influential figure in the Mexican underworld. One of Caro Quintero's most notorious crimes was his involvement in the abduction, torture, and murder of DEA Special Agent Enrique "Kiki" Camarena in 1985. Camarena had been investigating the cartel's operations and was seen as a significant threat. The murder of a US federal agent sparked international outrage and led to a joint US-Mexico manhunt for Caro Quintero. In 1989, Caro Quintero was captured in Costa Rica and extradited to Mexico, where he was convicted and sentenced to prison for multiple crimes, including the murder of Agent Camarena. However, in a controversial move, he was released from prison in 2013 on a technicality, leading to widespread criticism and strained relations between the United States and Mexico. Despite his release, Caro Quintero remains a wanted man. The US government has offered a substantial reward for information leading to his capture, and he is still considered a significant threat due to his connections and influence within the criminal underworld. The case of Rafael Caro Quintero highlights the challenges faced by law enforcement agencies in combating powerful drug cartels. His involvement in the drug trade and the heinous crimes associated with his name serve as a stark reminder of the violence and corruption that often accompany the illicit drug business. The hunt for Caro Quintero continues, as authorities strive to bring him to justice for his crimes and dismantle the criminal networks he helped establish. His story serves as a cautionary tale of the destructive power wielded by drug lords and the ongoing efforts to combat the drug trade and protect communities from its devastating impact. Robert William Fischer, born on April 13, 1961, is an American fugitive and a former resident of Scottsdale, Arizona. He gained notoriety for his alleged involvement in a heinous crime known as the Scottsdale family murders, which occurred on April 10, 2001. Fischer is sought by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, for his suspected role in the brutal killings of his wife, Mary Fischer, and their two young children, Brittany and Bobby. The Scottsdale family murders shocked the local community and drew national attention. It is believed that Fischer meticulously planned the crime, meticulously covering his tracks and attempting to destroy the evidence. After the murders, he allegedly set fire to their home in an effort to conceal his crimes. The intensity and brutality of the killings left investigators and the public in disbelief. Following the murders, Fischer disappeared and became a fugitive from justice. The FBI launched an extensive manhunt to locate and apprehend him, but he's managed to elude capture for over 2 decades. Fischer was added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list on June 29, 2002, indicating the severity and urgency of his case. Fischer's case has received significant media attention over the years, with his story featured in true crime documentaries, television shows and news articles, despite numerous reported sightings and leads. He remains at large, leaving investigators and the public perplexed as to his whereabouts. The search for Robert William Fischer continues to this day. The FBI and law enforcement agencies across the country are committed to bringing him to justice and providing closure to the victim's family and friends. Fischer's case serves as a reminder of the profound impact that unsolved crimes can have on communities and the relentless pursuit of justice in the face of adversity. If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of Robert William Fischer, please contact the FBI or your local law enforcement agency. Your assistance could play a vital role in finally apprehending this fugitive and ensuring that justice is served for the victims of the Scottsdale family murders.